Hello, I am Jody Wolf. You're watching EXPOZ today, June 27, 2011, 4:43 p.m., Birmingham, Alabama. Topic: Could September 2011 be America's D-Day? I don't know just when D-Day was first coined. It could have been World War One. But D-Day is holding multiple titles, and depending who uses it, D-Day could be Decision Day. And what I'm about to talk about will hold two titles. It'll be Decision Day and it'll be Doomsday. And you'll understand in just a moment. As you know, there are 50 nations Arab League out of almost 200 Arab member nations. And then there's another 70 or 80 Islamic nations. Now, since they're Arabs, Islamic, Muslim, they're easily led by a minority. And I'm going to tag minority at this moment and replace that word with the name Satan. Ahmadinejad, he's doing the very same things that Hitler did, that when he finally came to power, he killed millions and millions of people and caused the death of millions and millions more. Ahmadinejad could be doing the same thing, but my point is, in September 2011, the United Nations will be in a hearing. And again, the United Nations are dominated by Islam and by Muslims. There's a far better chance than not that the United Nations will accept this request. This request is for the Palestinians to have their own state. The Palestinians, Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood already said they're going before the UN and declare themselves a state. And my point a moment ago being misled, what can the UN do? If they reject them, then what will happen to the UN? If they accept them, then what will happen to the UN? So, to reject, the punishment may come from within, rioting across the entire Middle East. If they accept, then they will fall upon God's judgment, which will be harsh. So, what I'm getting at, in September 2011, if, and I can almost exclude that word, when the Palestinians declare themselves a state. By the way, most Palestinians are not on board with that, but they're in fear of speaking out, speaking up, because they'll die to do so. The only chance that Israel has in any defense whatsoever would be for the United States to veto such measure. That is where D-Day comes in for us. It's our decision day. If we do not veto that request, then we'll be once again in a direct defiance against God and causing his people and his land to be divided. Now, here comes the really bad part of this. There are a lot of people out there that are talking about this, and everyone that's speaking of this, they're talking about the instant judgment coming upon America if we do not veto this measure. In other words, if we don't veto it, simply means that we go along with it and we support it. And if we do that, you can expect an immediate judgment from God. Immediate. And this will be one that we probably will never recover from. And in fact, I'll say we will not recover from. But prayers are needed around the world. Prayers are needed that measure will be vetoed by the Americans. And it scares me because we have a president, in my opinion, that is Muslim. Just think about this. Right now, there are a lot of Jews being led to Christ by visiting Christians, by what you see on TV. John Hagee, Perry Stone, Sid Roth, great people are getting the message across. We are in those end days. We're there. But think about one thing. If the United States does not veto that measure, and then our message no longer gets across, or whatever reason, and a Jew dies on our watch that is unsaved, I just say, God be with us, because I do not want to be part of this country if that happens. We need to prayerfully consider, well, there's really no considering there. We need to really pray about this really hard, and we need to put pressure on our leaders to veto this measure, because it's going to come up. September 2011, it's going to come up. We have to veto a Palestinian state, or let them recognize Israel get with them, and then create a state, but it will not be within Israel's boundaries. Again, like I said, you take a basketball court and you mark off a 1-inch square. That's the amount of land in this world that Israel has, but yet everyone feels like they need part of Israel to become a state, or they need part of Israel for some other reason. That's not it at all. It's all about Satan. It's all about Satan and his hatred for the Jews. Satan destroyed the first Savior, which was supposed to be Adam, but he could not touch the second, which was Jesus Christ. And he hates the Jews because of it, because they gave us Jesus Christ. People, please pray about it, and pray really hard. This is September. You know, we're here at June 27th, July, August, and then to September. We don't have 90 days left. We got to veto. We have to veto. I'll say, if we veto it, that'll be a liberation day for America. I believe that'll be the day that America begins to lift up and stand on her own 2 feet once again and be a proud country. And we, Americans, Christians, all people that pray, this country will start growing again. If we do not veto that measure, then I'm going to say everything that we have is lost, is gone. We will not see, or we've never had judgment like we're about to receive. I mean, the worst judgment that you can imagine. We'll cease being a country, I promise. We'll cease growing. In fact, we'll be a dust bowl. We'll dry up, we'll disappear. Tell your representatives, at all costs, veto this measure. I'm going to put this on weekly. It'll be considerably shorter. As a reminder, Jody Wolf, EXPOZ.